Hello and welcome back. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot, and it's another Indian football and more discussion here on the channel. And yeah, welcome after a weekend which I spent in London watching international football team, and we lost 0-1 to Zimbabwe in the third place playoff against Zimbabwe in the Unity Cup at the Valley, the home of Charlton Athletic. And disappointing on one side. On the other side, if I saw the way that Zimbabwe played, then surely, surely they are a much, much stronger team than what we normally play or face. And yeah, and good to see a lot of old faces and you know, and therefore it was nice for 2 days. Yeah, we met up with a few people on Friday, and then on Saturday, of course, went for the game. Missed one or the other person. Sorry for that. If you're here, yeah, and yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Hi, Ashish. I'm good. Ashish, little tired because long weekend. Then had a little bit of a flight delay from London back to Düsseldorf, and then yeah, went directly straight to the handball. Came back late evening, last home match of the season yesterday, and had a full day today. So therefore, yeah, a lot of work. Yeah. कल कल ना घर के साथ बात से क्या बात हुई? Ashish, two things to say. Speaking to Kalyan and to Khalid, Khalid, though I said jokingly, so we were at the press conference. The press conference was about to start. He didn't realize that I was there. Pre-match, he was so focused. But at the press conference, he directly came to me, said hi, how are you? And we always meet in England, or we meet here, which I found funny because I reminded him of his debut for India against Fulham in 2000. And yeah, nice conversation. And Kalyan also, when he saw me, came over, said hi, hello, and spoke about a few things. I said a few things to both of them, which they might like, might not like. But again, I think that we have relationships which are 2.5 decades old. That they might be fine, okay, to listen to the one way thing, and yeah, that's the thing. Hi, Oritra. Sorry, I'm still to reply to you on Instagram. I will certainly do that. I say forwards coach is not the issue. There are some players who needs to be removed. Oritra, the coach. I said that last year when Khalid Jamil was picked, and again, Khalid Jamil is playing the way Khalid Jamil plays. Right. If you're picking, and the fun one is a lot of people who are now criticizing Khalid at the time said, oh, you know what, Khalid this, Khalid that, whatever, blah, blah. Khalid Jamil has been always a defensive minded coach, even if his team is losing 1-0. He will rarely to never change his tactics, which was visible against Zimbabwe, right? To me, I would have thought in Zimbabwe, maybe last 10, 15 minutes, let's change tactics, let's change track. Let's try and be a little bit more offensive attacking. Let's risk something. Again, you might lose 1-0, 2-0, or 3-0, it doesn't make better. uh, you know. And but the question to me is, what are your options? And to me, um, yeah, the issue is here that removing players, yes, could be something. But what I again realized is, uh, very very simply looking at things that a lot of players who are being hyped up, and again, I'm using the word hyped up, are not good enough for international football at this stage as I speak to you. That has been proven, right? And if you don't watch, and this is another thing which I have said a few times in the past. Um, to me, if you don't watch a match live in the stadium and have an understanding of football, and then you're criticizing the way that certain people have done, I can't take you seriously, honestly, right? Khalid Jamil is going to play his football. That was known. Some of you celebrated it like, oh, Indian coach, we're giving a chance, blah, blah, blah. Khalid is doing what Khalid does. He will never change. And the other point is, to me, I think there is an issue, and it's especially with the younger players. I have a feeling that the younger players don't have the attitude, the mentality to play at a senior national team. Sorry to say that. If they like it or not, that's the reality. The guys who were fighting it out at the end of the day, from a mentality standpoint, who were trying to keep things together, um, who are we talking about? We're talking about Gurpreet at the back. We're talking about Sandesh fighting always. Um, the much criticized Rahul Beke, who I didn't think against Jamaica played a bad game. And I also felt in the combination with Sandesh, he actually played a decent game given the realities with the players around them, trying to keep things together. I think that's one thing that nobody wants to see. And Chanted. Those were the four players also that after the match, Khalid was discussing a lot of things animated. And so that's the reality. I saw some of the younger ones warming up. So I saw some of the younger players warming up, right? And I said that to someone on Saturday evening. I said, if I had been the coach, they would not be been around because there's a lack of understanding what shirt you're wearing, and that is also what I felt and got from those players. You know, that's reality. That's it, but as I said, so we spoke about football. We didn't have much time because we spoke for briefly 2-3 minutes at the press conference. Khalid stopped over, wanted to speak. And this is also something which I realized again, which some of these people who call themselves, um, could they approach these people and have a conversation about things? No, you can't, because maybe they know you, maybe they don't know. They will not take your opinion seriously. So I'm luckily in this position that I can have a conversation with these people and maybe even say the one other thing, and they'll take it. So up the chin. You know. So that's the reality. Supporting Portugal only for Bernardo Silva. Okay. As long as you come with a B team and South, I mean, I was shocked and with considering last year's response. Presently, I have not really looked at Bangladesh's women's team. Actually, I've not even been able to watch any of the SAF women's. I've just seen the results. Yeah, that's the reality. Rahul Rahim, Nikhil, Farjad, and Vivi Maxis. I don't know why they're even in the squad. Um, and am I Blue Paltan? For me, for example, um, Rahul Beke, if people like it or not, and I've said this multiple times, name me the better centre backs that who should be there, right? And don't come with Paramveer and all those guys are not ready. Sorry. At that level, if Paramveer played, we would have gone under. And again, and then people say, oh, we don't have a problem. But then if India lost 5-6 nil, then the outcry would have been huge. Rahim Ali has to be there. He's the only quality physical striker that we currently have, right? Um, so therefore, for me, I don't see that as uh, and this is also, in my opinion, wrong assessment. Nikhil Pujari, yeah, we can have a conversation. Would not have been my choice. My choice would have been Valpuya, surely. Avimita is not there, so those could have been choice. Farooq Chaudhary, yeah, again, Farooq Chaudhary is turning out to be the next Danish Farooq. Again, why that player is there and why is he playing two full games has to be asked to that's a question to ask the coach, which I didn't in that moment, actually, to be honest, because we didn't get that. We didn't go into deep analysis of the game. I would have liked to have done that a little earlier, but sadly, 2 minutes post-match press conferences. What's the obsession of starting Farooq in central middle position? I can name 15 better players who can play better in position Farooq was playing. Sure, very valid question. As I said, I felt the same thing. But my question to you is, I would like to know the 15 players who you think could be better, because I don't think that there are those 15 players, right? Can Karan that or there will be same barriers even Abdin Bharti case in March. Prasanjit, I have no clue what's the Abdin Bharti case. I have a feeling that there's something being created because if he's an Indian citizen, yeah, I don't know what it is. And Kabir needs to come and train with the team. And if he's good enough, he be allowed to play? Oscar left East Bengal. Do you know where he's heading to? Does FSD again come picture so Profit in ISL meeting at Kolkata? Ankon, first of all, Profit Patel was in the AIFF meeting, not in the ISL meeting. FSDL has been disbanded, doesn't exist anymore, so they're no longer there. And I don't know where Oscar is going or what's happening at the moment. The ISL, as of today, we are on the 1st of June. ISL doesn't exist, right? I mean, I was speaking with a couple of players. Yeah, and they're very very worried, and some players are even contemplating saying, you know what, yeah, let's see. Well, what I can't make this to a team when I'm harsh but saying truth. See, and that's the thing is, first of all, don't call them super team, you know. uh so that's the first thing. Don't call them, you know, show them a little bit of respect, criticize them on their football, but you know, Mikel Arteta, I don't know. Pep Guardiola would be an interesting test. Would love to see that, right? But it's not going to happen. So therefore, these are hypothetical discussions. Why are we, you know, why are we wasting our time with those kind of things? What's your opinion on Ashley Westwood Christian turning towards Kyle Jimmy as Indian national team head coach? So I haven't heard it, and you know, so I can't comment on it. Should Johan Benjamin be considered for 20 qualifiers? Personally, I don't even know how good or how bad he is. I don't follow him, so therefore I don't know. How's the integration Khalid, Karan Paul? Something good. I mean, again, I know these guys since 2000, 2001, 2002. So, you know, I will always, you know, if someone respectfully speaks to me, I will certainly have a conversation and be respectful to them as well. And again, Kayan came to me and said, hi, hello, and we spoke, and then someone clicked a photo for this and everything. I don't know what the problem should be, right? And if I can tell him that certain things are wrong, I will do that. But what I've said in detail, I don't need to say. With Khalid also, there was a quick interaction. We were talking about the past, about a little bit of the match, what could have gone right and wrong. Um, and the same with Shubhata, who've also known since his Tata Football Academy days. But there's some things that these guys said which I will not put out in the public domain, because I know what I can put out or what I should put out or not put out than rather putting out. Sorry, sir, I can't watch Khalid ball. Sure. Then tell that to the AFF. If Khalid is the coach, we're going to get what we're going to get. I said that from the start. Watch my old videos when Khalid was about to be appointed by the AFF. That Khalid Jamil is going to give us this kind of football. Nothing more, nothing less. Right? So that's your problem. And yes, he has players that he has picked. Danish Farooq in the past, now Farooq Chaudhuri, where I would say, why? I never liked the idea of having Ricky Shabong national team. This is not ISL. Mainak, you know what? I felt Ricky actually didn't do bad. Given the realities that he was physically always potentially outmuscled against bigger players in the Zimbabweans, he did okay. Right? I thought he did okay, given those realities. Yeah. We don't even have a set piece taker. Should have just called Nasser Farabasis. Do you understand that you're throwing out names of players who are not ready? Even that would have been pushed around. And then people said, oh, you know, give him. We need to. This is my problem with the name throwing around and saying, hey, give young players a chance. These young players need to earn a call up to get into the national team. It is just not walking in. Right? That's the problem. So therefore, the question is, who could have been? It would have been Brandon Fernandez for me. This whole thing, those people who tell you, oh, you know what? We need to plan for the next cycle, this, that, everything. A player who does well now, will he do well in 1 year? A player who did well 2 years ago, is he still around? If you'd asked me 2 years ago, no, sorry, last year, Vikas Jungnam, to me, was the best prospect in the under 23s. Forget that he was captain. But as a centre back, I felt because Jungnam was really doing well, getting game time with Chennai and this, that, everything. Kerala Blasters, at the start of the season, and then he said, no. So, you know, so therefore for me, the reality is, if we cannot look at, our problem is our players evolve later than others. So, right, some of our players are maturing at 27, 28, right? But that outstanding player, listen, teams are playing 16, 17, 18-year-olds at club and at national team level. We don't have those players. We don't have those qualities. You know? Bangladesh actually complained that they didn't have proper dressing room to change their rules and even dogs were roam on the pitch. So, yeah, you know what? Very simple. We are the hosts, and these complaints need to be taken seriously. What does the troll army do? They put out abuse. That's a problem. So a ball from Vikram to Edmund. If Rahim would have been there, I'm 100% sure he would have buried that opportunity. Maybe, maybe not. This is all speculation in that way. Farooq was the worst player. He played 90%. I mean, as I said, again, not every decision makes sense, but that's Khalid is the coach. And if all of you who are here in this chat at the moment, right, the 22 of you here, if we would put together individually teams, you know, um, I think there would be everyone would have XYZ players here or there, and make it different. The team lineups. I say, why are people giving Abdi Bhati? Because I don't even think he's that good enough. We have chances to come with rather than Abdi. I don't think we need to give chances to both. Abdi Bhati, I don't know. As I said, how many matches has Abdi played in the last 6, 7, 8 years? What, 26, 27? Param Veer is not ready for this level. Sorry. And just look at how. Anyway, let's not get into that conversation. You see when these players warm up and what they do, what they don't do, what level they are. And just look at the way that Jamaica or a Nigeria or Jamaica, Nigeria, or a Zimbabwe were. There's no way we just like good center back. Aren't we supposed to be a defensive kind of team? How we have no good center back, and we're done. Yeah, Pranjal, but that's the strategy. Because the Mathab Singh is not being called. Vijay Chetri, for me, not ready for this level. Maybe next year could be. Paramveer is not ready for this level. If you see him play this ISL, then if anyone is talking about Paramveer Singh being a first 11 option for India, doesn't understand football, in my opinion. Sorry to say that. That boy, give him time. It's a discussion with Mohammed Sohail. Social media is killing these players because you're getting into their heads. They're thinking, "Oh, I don't know, I'm better than bloody Messi and Ronaldo." Let them develop. Give them time. We are pushing social media, and this is a discussion which was happening yesterday. I was listening to someone about football somewhere else, right? About European football. That social media, fan channels, and all these discussions that are happening are not helping. And I tell all of you, all whenever you can, please go and watch live matches and then tell me that what you see on television is actually the same thing that you see when you see it live. Because you observe a lot of things, a lot of nuances, what's happening in the warm up, what is happening during the game, what is the dynamics, water breaks, what conversations are happening, what is happening post game, because you don't see that in those on television shots. And there were clear observations. You can take out the senior players. This team collapses, if I like it or not. But I've been saying this against not everybody, but a lot of people. You know? So the reality of things is, if I take out Gurpreet, if I take out Sandesh, if I take out Rahul Baker, who's got a long stick, and I take out Chante, with all the problems that we faced, we would be even worse. So the reality is, what do we do? Sir, but my only thing with Mr. is why does he take games so seriously? Even if friendly for India, he never takes those risks and makes up so late. Sure, because that's the way he is. As I said, for me, the reality is if I get Khalid Jamil, I will get this kid, period. That's the reality. If you like it, I like it, anyone else like it, you know? FIFA under 20s, this time around, the team finishing bottom of the group is going to be relegated among the 20s. Was there with most T20 players in London. Yeah. So let's see. I missed the game. I was traveling. How was it? Pranjal, to me, the difference, the stark difference of quality between um, Zimbabwe and us was visible. And Khalid said at the post press conference something interesting that he thought Zimbabwe was actually the strongest of the teams. And I looked at it and thought, actually, Zimbabwe actually, if they are able to get in that final third and maybe score here or there, are not a bad team. So for me, For us, a good test. But the thing is, our outlet at the front was very difficult. Rahim Ali was struggling up front because he didn't get much support. The wingers were trying. Vikram, again, not the best technical player, but Vikram at least physically going in there, fighting in there, making some of the Zimbabweans angry because he's going there physically into them. That's good. Changte, yeah, one or the other occasion, you saw what Lalinzola Changte is capable of. But yeah, if I have Chaudhuri, we've discussed enough. I think we need good grassroots coaches. Senior coaches are not good enough at the moment. Yeah, very true. Very, very true. Very, very big problem. Sorry. Yeah, very, very true. Coaching is a huge issue, right? So therefore, we need to work on that. And if you don't change it, nothing will happen. Yeah. And yeah, those are some of the realities. It's Anandu. He was not good enough. You could see that he was trying to do his tricks, and the Zimbabweans directly understood it and always, this is not also what you saw with a lot of players, which I thought India did better against Zimbabwe than they did against Jamaica. You do not get so much time on the ball as you get in the ISL. You have to be faster, you have to be quicker, your decision making has to be, spot on, sharper, faster. That was very, very visible. The only good thing is we only lost 2-0 and 1-0, but still don't know why Farooq went for wrestling and gave penalty, and Edmund thought the young players really need to earn. They are damn not ready. Yeah. And you know what your problem is? Edmund Radika is not young, right? So for me, that is another thing. Edmund is 27. He is no longer young. He is at the age where he needs to mature. So therefore the hype part is nice, but it is not helping the players because it's getting, as I said, it's getting into their heads. I felt that clearly. You think that the young players say, again, it's not about me, it's generally. Who were the players who went to the fans and signed autographs, took pictures and all? Gurpreet, Sandesh, Rahul Beke, and Champe. I don't know where the rest were. The rest were already inside. There is, and this is, if you don't see these things, which you don't see on television, and nobody talks about it because I'm the only one, it seems, who's talking about these things. The young players need to step up. They need to earn this jersey. And thank you to the AIFF, Nivea, and especially my friend Johnson for it. I saw some improvements from Jamaica, but we played more unnecessary goal conceded defense and what bad touch lost by Edmund. Some chances missed, but team again needs lot of time. Yeah. That Ranata, but the reality is this is a level which we don't play normally. I think we need to understand that. This is a level up for us. Irfan would have been better option in place of Farooq. 100%. But what I've been told, he's injured. So the problem is, that there are certain option players, but they're not the younger ones. Like McCarthan, who I like. McCarthy Nixon to me could be someone future for the national team. As I always say, Ayush Chhetri as well. But this level, not for him to play. Ashley Westwood comments research on Kelna months ago said Khalid is time wasting defensive coach. Yeah, if it's time wasting, whatever. But defensive coach, it doesn't matter. I've said that as well many times. I don't need an Ashley Westwood to say it, right? And one injured Ryan Williams. Yeah, even Ryan, what is his position? Why are you playing him as a? I don't think Ryan Williams as a number 9 makes sense. It made more sense to play Ryan as a 10 and have Rahim Ali to play with, right? So is the understanding there to pick the right players in the right positions, trying to build something? Despite the fact that Bikash is not his best right now, but at his best, I still think Bikash can be our next Jingan. He still has time to develop, but he's a solid player. Yeah, Sudhir, he has, but he has not taken that next step, which I thought he could. And again, Bikash Jungnam is that player, right? And even Mohamed Suhail has been hyped so much. Hey, people are not talking about Kipgen. Wasn't Kipgen hyped 2-3 years ago? And then people forgot about him. But Kipgen had a better season in the ISL. So therefore, we were speaking about Nikhil Prabhu. Nikhil Prabhu is now limited time. You know, what do you think of Khalid not even substituting Farooq with that performance? How does he make him play? How he became coach? Pranata, that's the question to ask him. You know, again, we didn't get that time to go to that much detail, but to me, that player, Farooq Chaudhuri doesn't start. Farooq Chaudhuri doesn't make the squad. But again, we had that discussion about Danish Farooq earlier. I think people need to live in the real world and understand that we absolutely zero chance of beating either team. Yeah. Sasha, not only that, um, people are creating a bubble of expectations, which is, right? Yes, we did have our chances, but we had two, three chances in both the games. But hey, what else do you expect? I tell you about the things you talked with Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, Khalid or Kalyan Chawla. Hannibal, with Khalid was a little bit about the game. 2 minutes quickly, nothing. We couldn't get into detail because the team was waiting for him in the bus and he had to leave. And yeah, with Kalyan, a little bit about the situation, about certain other things as well. And with Gurpreet, about said certain personal things which I keep to myself. So again, I am not an A or a B or a C in that way and saying, hey, listen, I am a journalist, I'm a content creator, I'm someone in football management. I need to, I know these things and then I don't need to talk is and um yeah, when to say what, when not, right? And also as a clarification, and I will repeat this again and again in this video, if Kalyan Chaube comes to me says hi hello, why should I not say that? Right? I therefore we had a conversation about certain things. Yeah, and let's keep it at that and let's see what happens in the future. And Jigson literally centre back now, but Mr. Khalid decided to put him in centre midfield, and Jigson is just doing as long as we are chasing for a goal. Sham, yeah, but who else would you have played? Again, the options were also not there, right? Because of what Mohun Bagan did to the national team. Um, but again, Jigson for you as a centre back rather than a three. So therefore, in the first match, could he have played there? Maybe, but then the question: who do you play in midfield? So so that's the other problem that he had, right? So what to say? What's your opinion on Malika Prasad football and women's team? Ritesh, I've not seen enough of her to have a real opinion. So in all respect to Shubhat, what's he doing in UK? I didn't see him in our under 20 matches. This is where he should go and watch how they're playing and focus on what's next. Shumish, why shouldn't he be in the UK? There were certain conversations about certain things. Why should he not be there? Hmm? And how do you know he wasn't at the under 17, under 20 matches? How do you know he was not getting stuff done for the women's teams? And this is again, this is the problem that I have, that everybody has an opinion about things, but do you know those details about what these people are doing and why and when they're there? Where, right? So again, everyone can have an opinion. Listen, I at least live in a free world. But the point is with these things, yeah, what more to say? The one Edmund once hyped just some time before and cleared for his place in 11, and now he's missed simple footer from so close. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with these players. They need time, and he's 27, right? Yes, he has won the ISL with East Bengal, and congratulations to him for that. But is he ready to be an out and out striker for India? No, he's not. Because you need that, you know, maybe I hope Edmund turns it around and maybe in a year or two we don't have to talk about these things. But at the moment, he's not that clinical finisher for us. None of this. We don't have a player of the caliber of a certain Sunil Chetri, of a Baichung Bhutia, of an I Am Vision. That's the reality with our attacking offensive thing. We are hoping that Ryan Williams will somehow create something, maybe, I don't know, maybe a Chante, and then it gets tough. Midfielders need to learn, start playing through balls rather than playing safe. Shoham, that's a nice thing to say. But again, you guys are talking about a football and a style that these guys don't have, they don't play because they play the ball to the foreigner and the foreigner does all of that. The expectation level, that's the reality. So what's the way ahead? Well, we have to want defensive football. I think that was football and we again struggle to make next Asian Cup. Issue, yeah. Will an attacking coach take us to the Asian Cup? Do you want again progressive football? Do you understand that to use the word progressive football in the context of the Indian national team? Yeah, don't do it because then the reality is different. The reality is very very different. Will Ryan play? Smith, no, he won't. We are in the game in Zimbabwe. Jamaica was utter waste. I don't think so. Pavlos, look at the second half. Um, you know, um, and against Jamaica and against Zimbabwe, we were better in the game from the start. Yes, but yeah, it's it's this way and that way. If we don't try new player, we are done for the next World Cup qualifiers. Amar, we're done anyway for the next World Cup qualifiers, if you like it or not. With the players coming through, where is the quality for us to grow at the moment? I I I'm failing to see the quality. You know, so that's the reality. GTP have acquired rights for the FIFA World Cup and they will show all FIFA matches on 2035. But I don't think they will invest in football because they have already overpaid for FIFA rights. So let's wait and see. So if you remember, this youth thing was something Igor did and dismantled a settled squad to try youths and suffered. Those players got nothing, and today most of the players are nowhere in the national team. Sudhir very well said. You have to live in the reality. This thing, oh, you know what? I need to build a future team. Guys, our players have one good season and then they disappear for the rest of their lives. Right? If you build a team today with players, you do not know if those players will be regular ISL players next season. Right? And our younger players need to step up. All those young players, if you see the way they warm up, they walk around this and that and everything. Then see a Sandesh, see a Gurpreet, see a Rahul Beke, see a Chante, how they are suffering because of these losses. Right? That's the problem. Nopangi can be around. Nitesh, I've never seen it. So the point is, for me, heard a lot of good things. You've seen certain things, but I hope that it gives us results in the long run. So what's a problem in administration is really lack of understanding because I see people with good intentions, but they don't know what to do. I don't know who the good people with good intentions are. I see a lot of people who think they know and understand things and they don't have a clue what they're doing. And it's not just AFF, right? It is across the board, right? Good evening, Siddharth. I agree with your thoughts, but we waste time with senior players. There's many more players who next one will see like sitting last only. Amal, Amal, are we fighting for something greater? Again, tell me the players that need to be in there. For me, uh, um, so therefore, that's a problem. To me, none of the younger ones showed to me in the minutes that they had, and also if you see the behavior, as I said, it's going through the motions. And there needs to be, for me, it's always been when I was with the Indian team, you have to have that feeling, that emotion about being part of that national team, right? That's missing. Sorry. Um, with Kalyan Chaube, the conversation wasn't anything big for public consumption. It was, and when he saw me, a carton Charlton Athletic, standing there and came to me, said hi, and then later on we spoke a little bit on the ground after the game. But yeah, that's it. Women's team is finished only women's position. I don't know, Damien, if that's the case, because even in the women's, I don't know if we're hitting a ceiling or something, because I'm not getting a good feeling. I'm not getting a good vibe. Yeah, we had Asian Cup, this, that, everything, but there's something missing. Khalid said that he won't call up Mohammad Subhajan player after Mohammad Subhajan sent these player in Kafa, but then the next FIFA when they called up Mohammad Subhajan player, he's just a film decision. Show him he can't. We are not a European country where we can say, you know what, I take these 10, I don't take those five, and then we do something. No, he has to call up the players because he needs them, right? So the problem here is, he might have an opinion, say, listen, I want to leave out this and that. Yeah, but you don't have an option as an Indian coach. Khalid is here because of financial issues, plus the AIFF which favors only Indian coach. Otherwise, Stephen could be the coach again. So that I don't know who could have been, would have been the coach, but your second part is more important than the first. The first one, yes, the financial is not true because there were coaches who are willing to say, listen, for 1 year I'll coach for free. So therefore, your first part is not true. The second part is the key part. There were people in the technical committee, Kalyan Chaubey as a AIFF president, all of them said, listen, we want an Indian coach. And then they said, who's been doing the best in the I said, oh, it is Khalid. Let's take Khalid. That's how it's come about. Nothing more, nothing less. So therefore, guys, be honest and precise in what you spread out on social media or whatever. Because I'm seeing a lot of information that is going out regarding India, regarding the Indian football team, regarding the AIFF is actually factually wrong. If I had to judge Indian players, maybe Chetri and that chunk, the 10 plus goal season. I can't remember when was the last time an Indian player had a prime. You only see performance in few games. So, few games is a lot. Sometimes you see one good performance and then everyone jumps up and down, up and down. Social media is harming Indian football. I'm telling you. This is the first time. No. I've had this feeling with the then under 23s in 2021 when I was in the UAE for the qualifiers, because I knew a lot of the boys from the past, from the under 17. You know, and social media and this hyping has not helped the players. Hey, Mayank, I was a bit sad to see you stand next to destroyer of Indian football and smile as the condition status quo of football is horrible, and it's my personal opinion. Yeah, Mayank, but and this is something which is a fact that if a Kalyan Chaubey comes to me, who I know for 25, 26 years, says, hi, hello, how are you? How's the family? How's this? How's that? I'll say hi, hello. Why shouldn't I? Should I not? Right? And this is an opportunity for me to then say a few things to him, which he might not hear from other people, right? So I took that chance. So therefore, either you understand it, right? And don't be, I don't know, you need to be able to have a conversation with these people. And if you just say, oh, you bad, you this, right? All these other people who are saying these things, can they have a conversation with Kalyan Chaubey? Will Kalyan Chaubey even stop for them for 1 second? No, he won't. He doesn't bother about these people, right? So that he's willing to talk and listen. And not everything that I said to him was nice. Okay. Will he change something? I don't know. I don't think so. But at least I said it. Right? A lot of the people who say stuff on social media and criticize people, will they say that into the face of those people? No, they won't. And secondly, will the people care? No, they don't. Right? So these are the things that need to consider before making that statement. If you say that the way you said it, hey, good. If you understand my position, good. You know? So yeah. I think we need to cut the coach some slack. Let's get real. He doesn't have a luxury of options. Even more on Super Giant release their players. Sasha, brilliant. But the point is, Khalid plays in a certain way. And I repeated, I knew what I was getting into when I said, I'm going to go watch India. And those of you who say, oh, you know what? We need to be positive. We need to do this, we need that. We don't have the players for that. Don't forget that. We're not talking about prime Barcelona or PSG with Kvaratskhelia, Doué, and Dembele. You're forgetting the standard that we are, right? Edwin is not a number 9. He's more like playmaker. He's not even a playmaker. He's more of a winger. We have not AFC or FIFA qualifiers till next year, but what are we still carrying the baggage of old football cycle? We are losing anyway. Want to put young new lads on the pitch. See, Mayank, and this is something which I've now said 3-4 times, and I'm repeating again and again the same thing. Brilliant what you're saying, right? No, it's not. And this shows me the lack of understanding. Sorry, I'm being very brutal today to all of you guys who think and understand. Watch the 90 minutes not on a television screen. Watch it on the field. Watch the 1 hour before the game. Watch halftime. Watch post match. Interact post match. Then you will say, you know what? Our young players are the problem. They're not ready for senior level football. Exactly what I've been saying has been proven right, even without saying, because I've been very, very fortunate. I've been very, very lucky to travel and work with the Indian national team. At the moment, our young players are the dead wood. And you know what? If you put them in, they will drown. You have to beg the older players to stay on. I realized in conversations with these guys, they had a hard word feeling. The younger ones were joking around, standing on the side, enjoying themselves. Right? That is the problem. That is your real problem. If you don't have a Gurpreet and don't have a Sandesh, even a Rahul Beke, the much criticized Rahul Beke or a Chante, this team is not a team. It's a group of individuals, right? But hey, throw out the older guys because you want a new cycle, you want a new set of players. It doesn't work that way. In an Indian context, the young players are not ready. And they could play hundreds of matches in the next 2 years. They will still not be ready. There will be the one or the other exception who will break through and then become a regular for the national team in the midterm. But 95% of those players whose names are being called out, who should be there, will not make it even in the ISL for different reasons. That has to be understood, right? I cannot watch the current play of Indian football. Whenever could you watch the play of Indian football? Was the play good under Igor Stimac? Was the play good under Manolo? I watched two matches in the SAF Cup in 2023. The matches were not exciting. It was the same thing what I saw on Saturday. India fighting to defend and hoping, but our attacking sense in regard to, because we had Changte and we had Sunil up front, it was something happening. Rarely have I seen an Indian football team play in a way where I'd say, you know what, in the last 10 years, we'd say, I'll be happy about it. There is no Indian number 10 in ISS. How can we expect our midfielders to create anything? Sujal, we have Brandon. And we don't have a real number 10. But again, then we have to talk about the Sahal. We have to talk about Andrew Thapa, who and there. That's what we have in creativity. You know? You know? Why are we even playing anyone who's above 30? They will be too old for the next cycle. The quality for us to grow will happen. Young players experience men's football. Man, experiencing. This is not the way football works. I don't know if any other country would have this discussion. No, because the reality is you have to live in the here and now. And the next cycle, there are players that you will name today who will not be playing top level ISL football next summer. Oh, sorry, will anyone be playing ISL football next summer? That's the other question, right? That is your problem. Those players you're criticizing are burning to play for this jersey. Some of the other ones are playing it because they think, hey, I'll get a better contract in the ISL. Yeah. So if you understand those things, and I've said this even before going on this trip has just proven to me what I have been saying all along. And it shows me that all these other people are commenting on these things. Do something else. Don't comment on football. Because, sorry, you don't understand these nitty gritty parts. Because everyone's saying, oh, you know what? We need to blood young players. And where are the young players who are ready to play this level? You know? Will Ricky join the squad for Army friendlies? No idea. Honestly, I felt we played better with the amount of time these players got for training. We could have done better to avoid those goals against Jamaica and Zimbabwe. Johan, you're forgetting one thing. Maybe we not have conceded these goals. But India always has been conceding goals in I don't know how many years I've been watching in the last few minutes. Or mistakes, individual mistakes. So, yes, great. Have we done better in the last 2 years whenever we had long camps? Right? It might have felt better, but I don't see something which I used to see, especially under Bob Houghton. When Bob had 3-4 weeks to work with the boys, they were on a different level. There was this extra urge and will to play for India. Not seen this, right? A lot of these players are in the national team because they're fighting for the next ISL contract. They're not there to play for this badge. Sadly, sorry, reality. But you will then come around and say, hey, we need young players. The mentality is not there, right? Surely we need to try a new goalkeeper in friendlies. I mean, Gopisam is the best, but do need to try the second option. Imagine Gubzan gets injured. So I'll stop Vishal was we might get a nasty surprise. Punjab, theoretically, yes. But the point was, maybe we'll see it against Tajikistan. I don't know. With Khalid Jamil testing, trying something. Again, that's not his forte, if you like it or not. How did Crispin Chetri as an understanding coach of Indian women's team? Mitesh, we saw it with Amelia, how the way she played, and then we saw with Kristen before and after. Yeah, it's an Indian coach. Many people want Ashley as next Indian national team coach, but I feel he's not good enough coach for a long time. He has already changed so many jobs. Um, is it a lot? Is it not a lot? Again, it's always a conversation to have. Ashley, yeah, could be. But again, he has his opinions. He will pick certain players. We saw that especially after returning to active football with Round West Punjab in the I League. What did he do? He mainly took up players who were used to be with him at Bangalore FC, but a decade later. You know. Finally, good news for Indian fans going to telecast FIFA. Yes, they are. Let's see. LS, what happens? National team should never be about building. The metric should be about performance. Always, no matter what the age of performance players in the domestic season, you get 6, 8 games a year. How can you even build? So, yes, on one side, and also your understanding who can play for me international football. I remember my very good friend, Mr. Randy Singh. If your logic was, hey, what was your performance, this and that, and everything, then on a lot of occasions, Randy would not have been picked for the Indian national team because Randy had injuries and this and that. But when the national team time came around, Randy was always one of the strongest performers. So, um, so therefore for me, it is you have to figure out which player can represent me in international football and who might be the surprise elements who I should get into the national team. So therefore for me, it's a mixture. So therefore, someone might be your best player in the ISL. I remember Bob Houghton used to say that to me. It's like used to be a player, used to be always top player in the I League. Bob Houghton used to say, listen, I can't use that player in international football because it doesn't work. And he said I used to get stick. You know? So Khalid is not a project manager. We need a manager who can plan and work for long-term future of Indian football. Sure, yes, but who's that manager? Right? So Indian football to grow as a proper function is very important for Indian football. Listen, the ISL is dead. Today, as I talk to you, uh, and the ISL is dead. So we don't need to talk about the future. There are, I don't even know, 100 something players now without a formal contract. So this thing, talk about the future is great, but we are in the here and now. We are in a major crisis. Did you manage to listen to thoughts of Kerala versus coach on Khalid? No, I didn't. Mag. I told Khalid to say young players instead of Farooq Pujari, Bheke Chante. Badish, I did not tell him anything to who to pick, not to pick. Again, Chante, again, that you say that you should not pick Chante. Question. Rahul Bheke, if I like it or not, has to be there. Pujari, yeah, I can have a discussion. Farooq Chaudhuri, yeah, I agree. Shouldn't be in the team. But again, right? No resource, no sort. Okay. What Ashley said, everything is turning true. I don't know what he said. Rate Khalid Jamil journey as Indian coach so far. A 2? 2 out of 10? Right? But again, I didn't expect much. Very honest. That Kafa thing, again, this is the problem of the so-called Indian for uh, um, you know, uh, that's the problem. So these guys really feel that if we remove all the experienced players and give chance to young players, we will qualify World Cup, Asian Cup. We need to solely remove all these old players. Shubham, do you think that with the current batch of under 23s, under 20s, under 17s, and again, we've seen a lot of them in the last year or two, do you think that we are ready to play a World Cup? Should Indian football fans even utter the word of World Cup? You know? So the point to me is um, Asian Cup is going to be a tough journey from now on because our standards are dropping. And the other thing is, if I see the dedication of these older players, right? They might not be your best footballers, but they have mentality. And they will make mistakes. Don't get me wrong. But the younger ones, I didn't like the body language. I didn't like the behavior because I've seen top dressing rooms in India shirts. Those teams might have not been the best, but the mentality was always there to win and fight, which I don't see. They're going through the emotions. That is a problem. I feel bad for Nofal. He has so much potential. Come on, he still has potential. And, you know, sometimes these things happen that you come on and come off. And again, I thought he was injured. That's why he went off, you know. But yeah, but the point was he has to work hard and do well. I think India for has no future. They're playing for enjoyment. I don't think so, Damon, that you play for enjoyment. Again, this whole thing, but can it improve? Yes, it can, but there needs to be things to be changed. So we play still better. There were times when India used to score 2, 3 goals in like 3 years of international. Yeah, but show him scoring 3 goals doesn't mean that you are good playing good football, right? There would have been the one other standout match, but who did we play? We rarely play teams of a standard of a Jamaica or a Zimbabwe. Rarely to none. You know, you know. There were times when India was playing good and scoring goals, even we were losing India 2-4. Karma, did we play well against Malaysia? Again, that's my point. We are glorifying, you know, things because we think that was better. That 2-4 against Malaysia, we say, oh, you know what? We didn't get a penalty and this, not everything. Iraq's 2-2. Iraq in that Kings Cup, right? 2-2. Glorified. Look at the way Iraq played that game and look at Iraq how they played in the Asian Cup. These are realities. Now, sir, our youth setup is just worse, and that's the main problem. They're not giving us the best quality players. Even they can't compete in it. They cannot compete in, how many people were hyping the under 17s to be a great team? How many people were hyping it? And that fell flat because they're not good enough. We have a talent problem. We have a hype problem. Yeah. So that's the problem. Everyone, what's up with you guys? There are literally players getting called up for the national team to play in World Cup without a debut. So understand that if you're better, your age or national team experience shouldn't come up. Sujal, very, very important point. Right? For me, for example, Nufal, very talented. But is he good enough to play for the national team? I don't think he's ready. I would have said get another season, you know, you know. And that's why I say Bijay Chhetri as a centre back. I saw glimpses where I thought maybe because Jungnam I've mentioned. Are these guys ready to play senior national team? No. Does it make sense to put them into these matches? No, it doesn't. Because if you had put the young ones and you would have lost 5-6 nil, you don't learn from these 5-6 nils. You get destroyed, right? But if I see, especially Gurpreet after the match, how disappointed Gurpreet was losing to Zimbabwe the way we did, right? The disappointment in what he's saying. That's character. Gurpreet Singh Sandhu is a character, if I like it or not. And I told him also that you showed last year when whole of India was criticizing Gurpreet is finished, Gurpreet is that, Gurpreet is that. You went to Starbek, you trained, came back, and you improved yourself. How many of our players actually factually do that? That is what do we understand that what Gurpreet is doing or any others of these boys are doing? So therefore, for me, that's very, very not very, very important. It is fundamental, right? And therefore, if there is a standout player, if we have that exceptional, you know, um, if there is a standout player, he will break through. I remember I was telling Chante, I met him 10 years ago in January 2016, the very young Lalinzwala Chante in Aizawl through Tete with JJ. He had just won the SAF Cup with India. He scored on his debut. That was the last real exceptional talent that I've seen. Sorry to say that. I have not seen an exceptional talent in the last 10 years. Lanswala Changte is most probably that. Could he achieve more? Yes. But that's the reality. Now, sir, youth system is not that much. A youth team are not getting 40, 50 matches, just 10 matches. Okay, so can I use the best one for youth setup from PB League to U21 setup? Zigzag play matches, as you correctly said. It is not about, sometimes it's just about playing, you know? And So for me, the most important thing is, if you talk baby leagues, it is not about results. For example, in baby leagues, I would kill playing for trophies. I would try to, what they're trying to implement in Germany. It's about getting matches, right? So that you try and play X number of matches, that you have X number of minutes for all the players. So that you don't play with your first set of players, that your second set or third set, if you have them, that those players also get game time. At under 13, under 15, under 17, under 19, whatever levels we're going to have now, you know? And that's the problem. So that's the basic what we do. Had Pranay not done an individual mistake, we would have played knockouts in Asian Cup. Why not? Yes. Why did Pranay make that mistake? Because Anas Athodika injured himself in the warm-up. We're talking about a time when you had only 3 substitutions. Anas walked off after 2 minutes. And then have to say, sorry, Stephen, but Stephen Constantine, that mistake is on you. Because Pranay was finished, Pranay couldn't run anymore. And that's why he came too late and made the foul. And we've done this multiple times. This is not a new phenomenon. If you're watching Indian football for the last 2, 3 years and you're going to tell me a lot of things, no, these things have happened over the decades. The only thing is, rarely do we get beaten 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, because those days seem to be over in Asian football, right? The results look closer. But are we getting results? No. Sadvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy had won doubles in Singapore Open at Pro India can have world-class tall athletes. Yeah, why not? What's the way forward then? Aritra, figure out who's capable of playing for the national team. For me, Igor Stimac, Manolo Marquez, and Khalid Jamil have failed in figuring out who is national team capable. Because there are players in the national team, even the starter, as I said, Farooq Chaudhuri for me never starts. Doesn't get into the national team. As I said earlier about Danish Farooq. And as I say, it's nothing personal. I don't think you're, you know, you know. So that's the problem, right? Our way forward is the coach has to figure out who is capable to play football. Why did I defend Rahim Ali all these years? Because Rahim Ali is one of those who will put his body on the line. No other Indian striker at this moment in time that I see has at least that capability. And that, sadly, Ryan Williams got injured. I would have loved to have seen India with Ryan Williams and Rahim Ali in that second half, because that would have caused problems, right? So those are the realities. Are you saying we do not have a better centre back to start other than Deke, a good midfielder to start other than Farooq minutes? Farooq Chaudhary doesn't get into my team. I think in that position, Brandon needs to play. Brandon Fernandez, after this, I think it was his best season in 2, 3 years. Brandon starts. But name me a better centre back than Rahul Beke at the moment, sadly. An Indian centre back is better than Rahul Beke. We don't have that. And don't come with Paramveer this, that. As I said, to me, Vijay Chetri looks like someone that I could work with and think can grow, right? Mehta going to Mohun Bagan has killed his own career. So, reality. On the point of Ashley, I think that's a load of rubbish. Have you seen how many clubs the Portuguese or Spanish coaches have managed? Again, I didn't see it, I didn't hear it. So, therefore, um, yeah, that's the reality. Constant had more guts to bring a new batch of players during his second term, unlike having Mata to play safe. Man, again, how are you saying that? Do you know why Stephen did what he did? What are you comparing? Even Stephen, right? Stephen had options. Because why? The much criticized ISL was giving opportunity to players. But he also gave opportunities to experienced players who were in and around who weren't there. Right? So it was not a thing that he wanted to do. He was forced to do, because post Bob Houghton, and be it under Armando, be it under Wim Koevermans, be it even at Savio when he coached in between, the structure of the team was broken. Right? Hi, Raj. In which department, what kind of improvement would you suggest to veterinary football? Everyone else. Every department needs to improve. We're not good enough. On a if one learning needs to be there from the Unity Cup is if I see a country like Zimbabwe, if I see Jamaica, if I see Nigeria, we need to be better in everything, right? And I am shocked that I've heard for so many people, you know what? Oh, it's a Champions League final. Arsenal are playing in it. Forget India. The fans need to also step up, and you need to stand with the team when it loses. When India is winning, when we won the SAF Cup in 2023, and oh, we won 3 trophies. Oh, there are a lot of people running around. You know, so therefore, that's the problem. So, do you feel that in coming years, India will go back to FIFA ranking 1 and 2? I don't know, Shoam, if we're going to go back that low, but at the moment, I'm not convinced that we, again, under Khalid, this is the way they're going to play, right? And yeah, even though Ashley into the surface now, how do you see his statements against Kajima as he says he doesn't understand football? Ashley still wants to be national coach. Raj, again, for me, that is as a as a fellow coach, it shows me lack of character. I can say what I say about Khalid, right? Because I'm not a coach. But I know Khalid, and Khalid will look in my face and tell me something, blah, 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 no problem. But I don't have a problem with that, you know? So again, I don't remember, I haven't read it, I haven't seen or watched what he's saying, but you don't do that. I agree with our young players are more into fashion stuff than never look serious. Yeah, great, right? I feel like whenever young players play for us in national team, they never get criticized. The blame always goes to seniors. I don't understand why this has been a trend, especially since ego. Wow, Sujal, that is so correct. So correct, right? Hey, Jordan, all good. What's the need to cover? Remember the last time we played in UK, it was in Leicester, Fulham, and West Brom. We played against Fulham and West Brom. In Leicester, we played against Bangladesh. That's 2000. Then we came in 2001. Watford, Walsall, Nottingham Forest, and Leighton Orient. And in 2002, twice against Jamaica. Waiting for next SAF U17. To be honest, I do want to see whether we have someone exciting or is it same old. Pranjal, where is that exceptional player going to come from? Sir, grass has been a strong foundation, kicking six with football their best. Yeah, she did. This is the question you should ask. How do you rate Interkashi centre back? Pranjal, which one? Interkashi has a few of them. Which one do you mean? Rahul, here, this is a good human at first, then a football, but so far out now, people would say, then you play. It's tough on there. I admit I defend Kyle first, but it's out of his league now. Yeah, I've said this from the start. So, Chance also got chances for trials in Poland, Norway, because there were many young players coming out from these leagues. He only stayed there for 1 week. Show him again. He got a chance in Norway, and I organized it for him at Viking Stavanger in 2019, and he didn't go. He went there for 2 weeks. So get again, right? The worst press conference I've seen him done by Khalid. I mean, speak something so that we can understand your thinking. Karma, Khalid is. You are expecting things from him which he won't do. From football perspective, he's not the biggest talker. He's always been, even as in his time in national team, he's always a quite calm and quiet guy, right? You know. Now, sir, I'm only waiting for Saf. I'm scared how Bangladeshi will thrash us in upcoming matches. Maybe I hope not. Allegations against you. You always defend old, washed players who make mistakes and not support young players. Rather than losing with old players, we lose with young players. Raj, it shows me the lack of understanding. If this is an allegation against me, thank you very much. I take it because I can at least say that I understand how an Indian national team works. The others who talk about it don't understand it. Sorry, and I'll be arrogant enough on that because if you've never, uh, uh, you know, you know, so that's the thing. So for me, um, The point here is, if there are young players who are better than the current lot, I will want them in. I don't see that. To me, a player has to prove week in, week out that he's good enough to play in the national team or he has potential. I said last year when Manolo called up Ayush Chetri, I wanted Ayush Chetri in the national team, right? Then he played against Bangladesh and I said, oh God, sorry, my mistake. Ayush is at the moment not ready to play that level, right? So that's the reality. I literally said to myself after watching Farooq in first half in Zimbabwe that if Khalid brings him on in second half, then it sums up Khalid as head coach. So, yeah. But he did that with Danish Farooq as well earlier, right? Sir, aren't we playing more football in the 17 to 20 level, what we used to in earlier, even then why we cannot produce players what used to be? Shumesh, we're not playing more. I don't think we're playing more, right? And changing batches, you know, and, but still, our quality is not there because my question is how can it be that in the last 20 25 years players with their youth level development has not evolved. Our young talent is getting worse and worse and we're hyping players, right? Which of the young Indian women footballers are the ones according to you who have talent and I would watch out for future? Hitesh, the young ones, oh, I would actually have to really go through and look at no one automatically comes to mind and that's a scary one, right? I think um no. Let's hire those poor kids from rural Bengal. Okay. Now, sir, mind telling us a convo with Kanachov a bit like updates? There is no updates as such. Said hi, hello. Asked how the families are. We spoke a little bit about Indian football. We spoke about Unity Cup and then some other things. And that's it. Sir, please can you support a team which even doesn't fight, let alone winning? You have to support it because it's your team. Forget fighting or not fighting, right? At least upcoming young players at least know basics of football rather than those old. Who says that? I mean, I don't see that. Our football basics are bad, very bad. Look at our under 17, under 20s, and then you'll know how bad it is, even under 23s. But people don't have them. And then I usually click photos smiling with Kalyan Chauvin, Khalid Jamil is also, Kalyan Arunava is also fraud. What's your explanation? Very simple, Raj. That those people who are seeing that don't understand anything. That if I'm having a conversation with Khalid Jamil and I have a conversation, Khalid speaks to very few people. Do you understand that? And I've criticized Khalid. I think I was the first one to say Khalid Jamil as a national team coach is the wrong choice. You know, so to me that doesn't fly. But still, Khalid will talk to me. I've criticized Kalyan a lot in the last 4 years. I even said it was a mistake for him to come in. So if he's coming to me and says, "Hi, hello, how is your family? How is this?" and we're having a light-hearted conversation, and I can put in a few things and put a few critical things in, you know, and uh, so my problem is that these people who are talking that I'm a fraud don't know who I am. Ask those people who are trying to do this, that, everything. What have they done for Indian football? I know what I've done for Indian football. Very few people in this whole world have done what I have done for Indian football, and I know that. Has everything been right what I did? No, of course not. But I know what I've done. And I know I can go to sleep tonight knowing that I have a clean conscience. And those of you who know, you are, guys, you don't have a clue what you're doing. And content creation is nice, but know facts, know how things operate, how it works, know things, and then tell people off, right? It's funny. It's funny. It's hilarious in my opinion that people are talking about things which they don't know about. Very sad. Sir, after India's loss against Bangladesh, I just hope in football no one is caring about us as a fan who wants to nationally play well and win and they get set up produce. Zigzag, the question, forget Forget something. And it's not an Indian thing. It's a thing about fans anywhere in the world. No one is doing something because even if people tell you, no one is playing for you or for me as a fan, right? Sorry, maybe I'm breaking a myth with this. Our problem is, um, doesn't make sense. Memphis Villanova. Yeah. Did you tell Kalyan Rao that senior team needs a change of coach? No, I didn't. RSC game. Because I know from earlier conversations that they're convinced it needs to be an Indian coach. So it's no point for me harping on that matter, right? The high time Ashley becomes our leader. Comments are his personal matters, which must not be confused with his professional ones. No, see, that's the problem. That's the point. If you say the things the way you say it, it speaks a lot about the character of the person, and I don't think that's the right character to get into this thing. Right? Yeah, you made him a hero. People may criticize Beke, but because of Beke Sandesh, it is 2-1 nil, or else it could have been 5-6. If Ryan gets fit, Mohan players like Apoya come ASEAN Cup, we can expect better. Prasenjit, I don't know how much better we will be, but yes, the point is they made mistakes. Not one, not two, not three, yeah. But again, they fought like lions. They fought like tigers. And the point is that we as a team, you know, uh, you know, you know. So therefore, that's the thing. Do you think why Ranjit Bajaj getting hated by Indian fans after exposing in football's bad things? Fans are saying he's a fraud, PR merchant, never level of becoming new Indian head coach. He's not a coach, Fishy. And Ranjit Bajaj needs to ask himself about the so-called bad things that he's exposing. What is he doing himself? Ask him that question. I've heard that 3 OCI players are going to follow the footsteps of Ryan Williams. Any others who they are? There are none others. It's a social media creation. Story of social media creation. There is no, there are players who are trying to get OCI cards, or some of them have them, but to get passports is not going to work. Oman U23 Frenchies are getting cancelled and are bad news. Prasenjit, yeah, happens, sadly. It's World War II. You are in Germany with Hitler. Would you start abusing him? You're meeting with Sijo, a little brutal comparison, but again, I want to still be on talking terms, and maybe one day he will listen to what I say and maybe change something. Maybe I don't think so at this moment, but I need to have that potential conversation there. And again, if you know people for so long, right, you will like certain things. I mean, and you will not like certain things. You know, Zach Khalid Jamil don't want him. Yeah, Binat, you don't want him, but the AIFF wants him. No, Color at India football budget. Please remove him, but who's going to do that? It has to be the AIFF Exco, right? Who needs to remove him, and no one's removing him at the moment. You know, so reality. Do you see another coach incoming foreign one? Not at the moment, Renner. Mr. Chandan. Pranjal, not national team material at the moment. So do you think that when will we start to make our youth setup better? It's just fed up for me. I don't know, Zigzag. As long as your top level is not sorted, people are making money and that can be reinvested in youth football, nothing will happen. You know? So Oman have similar youth setup like ours, like short youth league, a number of matches, but the senior team, they're way better. Yeah, because it is not a question of the length of the league, it is the question of your training. Our training is not good enough. Sorry to say that to an elder, but Khalid is and lack of knowledge, like even you was even some of those who doubt him at the highest extent. That might be. But as I said, if you get Khalid Jamil, you're gonna get this. And if you don't, that's the reality. What will happen even if you remove Kalyan? The damage done by him is almost irreversible. Recoverable, sorry. Shoham, the point is not that it's Kalyan. It's a systematic failure. Right? It is the people who've been general secretary post the late Kushal Das, the AIFF Exco, the clubs, the academies, the coaches. It is only that the good management of the AIFF in the hands of Kushal Das and other people, like Shunandu Dhor, the things with despite all these problems that are day to day were there also 5, 7, 10 years ago. but they were covering up the tracks because we did certain things which were right. It exposes the shortfalls of the system. We can remove Kalyan Chaubey tomorrow. You put XYZ as president. The rest of the systems, who's bringing in, I don't know, 300, 500 crores to run the ISL and the AIFF? Yeah. If you say new players are not good enough and they're not ready for national team, if you don't give chance, how they will be ready for national team? Your thoughts on this? Raj, you have to filter out who could be a national team player in the future, maybe mid to long term. How many wingers have we seen, have we talked about in the last 2, 3 years? How many Vipin Mohanans have we seen where we said, this guy needs to come in, and then suddenly next year you think, oh God, what is he doing? Right? How many times did we speak about players and then they disappear? Right? I remember last year at the start of the season, Mohun Bagan, Super Giant versus Mumbai City FC 2-2. Great second half as a substitute by Nufal. And people all said, this guy needs to come in. Nufal, after that, didn't show anything. Had some level of brilliance this season. But was he consistent? No, he wasn't, right? So those are the realities. You have to figure out XYZ player. Is he ready for top level international football, or could he be someone? You know? So that's why I said, even I will not always be right. But to me, for example, because Jungnam is someone that I thought, okay, he's got something. But this season for me is stagnation. That's what I'm saying. Vijay Chetri could potentially be evolved into a national team player. But, you know, so that's the thing. And one thing, just ask a question to youth coach, why you do Paul Master youth player, and it to me, it's just wasting thing for women just to go for God. Yeah, but then yeah, it's everything. No? Sorry. Yeah, we're not there where we want to be, need to be, and that's a problem. It's a massive problem for us at this moment in time. How do you rate Panthoy Chano as Indian women's goalkeeper? Because she's fast now, good, but I think we've had better goalkeepers in the past. So I also believe in character matters a lot to play for the national team. And now I don't see the hunger which you see Sunil Sir, Bachung Sir, even Gurpreet the hunger. Yeah, well, Viju Bhai, Joe Paul, Renedy, um, Khalid Jamil as a player, you know? Um, so therefore, um, yeah, even, people will not talk about it. Mahesh Goli, Deepak Mondal, Gora Mangi. I see a lack of that, right? Once the Messiah of India was also just clicking photos with Karan Chauf. They had made many allegations of Karan. How these people justify that? See, the problem is these people don't know how football operates and runs and how the world operates and runs. Sorry, it's easy to make comments. It is easy to make statements. I have a clean conscience. I have a clear conscience. That is what matters for me, right? So let's see. If ISL can make also PAO slot player, Shanundra can easily come and take surgery after 1 year. So still, why this AFF doing anything? Unknown led, you cannot get citizenship after 1 year. So I don't know who's creating those stories. Ryan Williams got it because of the individual work of JSW. Do you think that other teams are in a position to do that? Yeah. So Shan is not getting his passport again with the right clubs. You know. So I don't know. And I don't want the OCIs and PAOs to come to play in India. I want the OCIs to play in Europe or North America in better quality leagues. We don't have a league. You're talking about them coming to India to play. We don't have a league at the moment. Again, I mean, if you want to get Indian coach, only put something whose ego hurt when he loses matches and which is best suited for this. Then we can see if his words can turn it. He's not a coach. Why are you putting him? He's not a coach. He doesn't have the licenses, right? So don't you? heart hurt seeing a boys not even fighting and saying it to yourself, why am I doing this? Even rather chill at home. No, I don't. Because I know what I got myself into. This is, you know, this is this is the reality. But if I have the opportunity anywhere in the world, I will go and support the Indian team. Even ever thought of opening a football club here? No, Pranjal. Why would I? I'm 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 not big enough, rich enough to say that I can own and operate a club. And if I would have enough money to do that, I wouldn't do it in India in the way, because it is the system in India. You spend money, you don't recoup money, right? So that's the problem. Versus UAE 2019 with old Finnish players 2-0 loss versus UAE with youth 6-0 loss. People said they would see youth losing rather than senior losing, but now I can't see myself losing by 5 to 10 goals. So sure, well said, right? I'm working with stakeholder third division football club in England. Nice, Shamanna. Sir, had it been in Bengal, Salt Lake, eggs and tomatoes would have been pelted on him. I don't know if that would have been the case. That is, I don't know. That's not the same man. He literally jumped on YouTube Punjab FC boys and started fighting with kids after losing 500%. Yeah. So it says it all. So this came about Ian Yusuf of United FCU and fans are demanding him to be included in national team. Yeah, Raj, that's always going to happen. South Women's in Goa, the worst decision should have been done in Northeast of Kolkata, Kochi, poor resident of India as a football country. Prashant, for the AFF with SAF, it is about who's going to cover your costs, right? It's not about A, B, C, D venues good. There are people doing videos about World Cup, world football, thinking they know everything. Huge respect for certain guys like you still doing about info, really underrated channel. You deserve more. Thanks, Sumesh. I'm trying. I'm trying to speak the truth. I'm not saying what the public demands, but I know that, when I talk to people within the circles, um, that people are willing to talk to me. Right. And I'm in a very unique position because I'm the only one in the world when it comes to Indian football who has had those different hats, being involved in setting up clubs, academies, being involved with the federation, with being involved with the national team, right? But also being a football fan of India and having done IndianFootball.com, other things, the blog and other things. Working with a third division club in England or watching yesterday's game, I won't even recommend one player to the club. They're asking about the team being there in Unity Cup. Not good at all. Yeah, Shamanna, but I would have told you that first without even having to send someone. Sir, I think Khalid sir can be good coach of inter-school tournament fourth division in Mumbai. Vineet, might be funny to say that. I don't like Khalid's football, but I still respect him as a human. So therefore, that should be there. Abysmal after watching the Jamaica game, only I could tell the trustee to send a scout to a match. Absolute disgrace. Okay. So Delhi made a draw against Ferguson to them. That tournament was won by Orlando City for in Sao Paulo. Yeah, so what does it mean? What do these tournaments mean? What have we produced world class talent? Oh, and New Jersey, sir, must have been gifted by AIFF and Colonel leaders would say, okay, sir, but sir, you will become old to honest and putting still so much effort, not just worth it. I'm trying doing, and you know what? This was not gifted to me by the AIFF or Kalyan Chaube, my friend Johnson from Sportfolio, and Nivea gifted it to me. So therefore, again, people think they know and they don't know. So that's the reality. So big shout out to Johnson. Thank you very much. It was fun on Saturday. I hope that uh, that Sportfolio has done something. So enjoy and watch it. Do you think Sangha upsetting Bangladesh will be reality? Would it been upset? Or is it? I don't know what the result between San Marino and Bangladesh will be. Let's see. Normally Bangladesh should beat San Marino, but I don't know. India chance ASEAN Cup tie for one and half match. I have no clue, RJ. Let's see which group, no? I Is there any news about Mumbai City, Karavasa CHNRC and Odisha shutting down their operations? I think most of the ISL clubs are from today not operating. Forget those four names you mentioned. I think none of the ISL clubs are in operation. I think some clubs are looking, East Bengal, Mohun Bagan are signing some players here and there, but none of the clubs are in real operations as they should need to be. So that's the reality of Indian football, you know. Uh, so that's the thing. Forgetting, as always, if you like Arun Foot, like the channel, again, most honest conversations. Hey, hey, but haters will be haters. So, that urges me on because I know that I'm on the right track. And 4,378 is the number of subscribers. Thank you very much. Follow me on my Instagram, on my X, and my other things. And thank you always for your support, guys. We can only do this together. And when people don't know things, only part of conversations, that's the reality. Indian women's team dark horse of Asia? No, Arijit, they're not. Should ISL be scrapped? Should we go to the 1996 structure? Arijit, what was the 1996 structure to that to be scrapped? Makes no sense, right? At the moment, we don't have a league. Well, I guess I'll say hi, Vashwar. Welcome. Saw Iran's video today saying Kajami's statement for three was actually him referring to player Kabirnath, not actually OCI players, even if Kabirnath is brought, it will be good. Prasanjit, I don't know where it's coming from. To me, my infos are that none players were contacted, touched. Don't you think Bangladesh is Sri Lanka a better football team than current India? Arjit, Bangladesh, yes, because they've beaten us and drawn us. In recent past, Sri Lanka, we haven't played, so difficult to say. How was your experience? So intrigued to know what did Khalid tell you? What was the exact chat? Ashwar, we only had about 1.5, 2 minutes. We were talking about first 2000 because Khalid seemed to have forgotten that Fulham game where he came on as a substitute for Bashudev Mondol and played a very good half against John Collins and Bjarne Goldbeck. John Collins at the time as Scotland captain. And then we spoke a little bit about the game, India's chances, defensive, this, that, everything, and yeah, and then the team bus had to leave, and we never got into, and and yeah, let's see what happens. Could Pakistan, Nepal, and all these in Bhutan upset President India's side? No, Arjit, I don't think so. What did you discuss with Shishi Kalyan Chaube? G need a detailed report ASAP. Udipto, no one in the world needs to get a detailed report to what I spoke with anyone in the world, right? So it was a very honest hi and hello. He asked me, how am I? How's the family doing? I asked the same thing. We had a little bit of a laugh. And then we talked later on, post match, certain things on the ground, and that will stay private because, uh, you know, and so therefore for me, if I criticize Kalyan, which I do on this channel enough, but I will also do it privately, but I know what to say, not to say to him, right? And that's why Kalyan Chaub will talk to me. All these people who criticize him, I don't know how many people would actually get a conversation with Kalyan Chaub going, or any of the other people that they criticize, right? I've had, I remember 2, 3 players who have criticized in the past, not on this channel, but rather through tweets. We've had conversation after it afterwards, and actually good friendships have developed out of it because I explained to them why I've criticized them. I don't criticize them for the sake of criticizing them, but I also know that if someone is friendly to me and is and you know him for 2.5 decades, at least have a conversation. Not Khalid, not Westwood, not Bajaj, not Modena, not Modi, make me the coach. Yeah, Hannibal, maybe that is it. But I jokingly said to someone on Saturday evening, looking at the guys who have been coaches in the last few years and those guys who want to be the national team coach, maybe I should actually apply for the job without having a coaching license because I at least have an understanding of how the national team needs to run. This is what surprises me that all these coaches don't seem to understand that there are certain things that you need to consider when trying to put a national team together. This is what shocks me, right? Um, because um, yeah, that's the problem. Vote for Dr. Hannibal Lecter Janata Party in 2010 elections, making me PM of India. I will pour entire freebies budget into Indian football. Ah, Hannibal, let's hope so. Yes, I'm good, Shuman. Good to hear. See you. Ashley and Khalid had great arguments 10 years back, and I leak statements might be something to 20 years back. That it might be. Um, might not also be, but again, it is I don't like when coaches have a go at each other the way he did, right? That Khalid has certain shortfalls and all that stuff. Even I've said it, and I will say it, but one coach saying it about another coach in the way he did, and he said it as a I will add the factor that this white man says it about this brown guy is not good, right? And the way it was said, I don't think it was right. So you're the best. Thank you, Beneath. Thanks also. I will take a national enemy. I will women's favorite administrators, cabinet ministry. I will make those legal. Yeah. Anyway, just do the third part and we're fine. So tell me your favorite football moment, national team or clubs that you've been a part of as a fan or otherwise. The biggest moment for myself in Kolkata in 2010, playing for the FC Bayern Legends against East Bengal at the Salt Lake Stadium with I don't know 1,000 people in there. Me, the little Arunava Chaudhuri, playing with six world champions in the Bayern Munich roster. No one can take that away from me. And I'm not a Bayern Munich level player. I'm not an Indian national team level player, right? So if you ask me, playing at the Salt Lake Stadium in front of those people, I at the time had the thing, uh, you know, um, coming off for Paul Breitner. At the time, the only guy to have scored a goal in two World Cup finals, 1974, 1982. Um, yeah, that's the one. National team, India, 2019, India versus Thailand, the 4-1. But also India versus Australia in the 2011 AFC Asian Cup because it was great to hear the Indian national anthem at continental level. And also India versus Japan 2004 at Salt Lake, where sadly the floodlights later on went out, but we organized a game with 90,000 people turning up. Right, those would be some of them. Creating Mumbai City from scratch, especially that second game. Yeah, we lost the first one, the opener against Atletico, the Kolkata 0-3 in Kolkata due to stupid circumstances, but okay, that's the reality. But then the second game, 5-0 versus Pune City in a derby, in a Maharashtra derby, would be my highlight with um, Mumbai City. And nowadays, East Bengal fans might not think it that way, but yeah, I have a background of supporting East Bengal and 2003 ASEAN Club Cup under Subhash Bhumik. Yeah, with that great team, would be another highlight. So yeah, quite a few. Or 2001 again. If you ask me, it would go on. 2001 India versus UAE, 8th of April 2001. India won, UAE nil. Um, you know, so yeah, like I understand the point about fighting spirit and all, but Bheke is just a terrible footballer. I just rewatched the second Jamaica goal, left, right, left, and defense split open. Pranjal, tell me a better defender to play in that position. That again, if you have it, we don't need to talk about Rahul. Rahul Beke, sadly, there is none. My only dream is to live long enough to see a national team be at the World Cup and that to cry out loud that I've been with the team when it was down bad. Sujal would love that as well, but let's see. I think that's the hope for all of us we have. Will ISL happen next year? Am I blue Paltan? That's the question which we cannot answer. You know? So I would love it to happen. It has to happen, but um, it's yeah, you know, right? ISAF within FIFA winner would Unity Cup defeat rankings. Arijit, uh, let's see when SAF is going to happen. I don't have no clue. And Unity Cup, yes, will be in the rankings, but it's a friendly tournament, so it won't have much of an impact. What do you suggest for our next game with Tajikistan with the way players we have content? I'm really excited for FIFA ASEAN Cup. Jordan, the question is who's fit? Are there any injuries? You know, and I don't know what Khalid will do. So I've again predicting what Khalid Jamil will do is, I think, humanly very, very difficult. Not saying young ones would have stopped it, but what was that defense switched off the game right after that? So, Pranjal, the young ones would have conceded more goals. And then my question to you is, are you fine losing 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 nil then? Would have happened. Yeah. Abhishek Banerjee, brackets, Mamta Banerjee, Diamond Havar are facing Ratif Idi. Has it produced any good Bengali talent? Orijit, has anyone produced any good but Bengali talent in last years? I don't know. And again, Diamond Harbour is not there about producing talent. They wanted to get into the ISL. That was their aim from day one. Again, producing talent is not the aim of the Kolkata clubs. Yo, why is no one talking about Indian women's team defeating Bangladeshi women 3-0? Because Hannibal, because people don't care. You know, you know, and yeah, in women's football, Bangladesh and Nepal care much more than India do. Do you think losing 2-0 and 1-0 loss still not a bad result for us? Fair result playing two strong teams. Yeah, nice. From the result wise, I would take it. I would always take those results because the results are good for us in a way. But and it showed clearly our deficiencies. We don't want to talk about the deficiencies, but those deficiencies are just there. As men and women are always opposite to Indian situations. Okay, Anujit. Iraq, a war donation, US and us with money, talent, and all being casual. Yeah, but again, you can say that we we have surely spent more than Iraq, but um, China spent X times more than us, and they're also not at the World Cup. Rahul VK hate is so forced. 100%. And those who are hating him you should excuse themselves. Seriously. You know, Rahul VK hate is मेथी जिसमें सभी हाथ धो रहा है. Yeah. Sir, I believe now it's the coach less the players, but I saw fitness is a big must. Don't you think the same? Fitness is, I don't know. See, we have a ceiling, compared to, if I look at those boys from um, Jamaica, if I see those boys from uh, Zimbabwe, right? A lot of them UK born, different quality to us, right? People's sentiments is you should have bashed Kalyan on his face rather you click photos of him in social media. You say against him for engagement, but in reality you are involved. Your take on this. Raj, um, what I say to Kalyan or don't say, right? Kalyan also knows, right? So um, my opinions are very clear. And if again I say repeat that, if people are not willing to accept it, if someone comes to me says, "Hi, how are you? How's the family? How's this and that?" You know, um, I still need to have a channel open to have a conversation about things. And I think 99% of time when I'm maybe talking to a Kalyan Chaubey, people will not know that I'm talking to a Kalyan Chaubey. And they don't need to know. Right? I've always had it like that, that if I'm trying to influence Indian football in a positive way, nobody needs to know about it. Right? Um and I don't say anything for social engagement. I don't rage bait. I just say what I think is right or wrong. And if Kalyan Chaubey comes to me and hey, talks to me, right? And why wouldn't I talk? Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, yes, we were fine losing a dozen, but it had provided a young one's real life experience of real life football. Yeah, but it it wouldn't have changed anything. That's the problem. People hating Baker against Jamshedpur saying Jamaica should watch Paramveer, our so-called next star against Tajik. My brother was losing balls for fun and playing bad against Jamaica is better than Tajikistan U23. Yeah, so sure, but they're blind, no? I hope Khalid field Paramveer and then people get to know why Rahul Baker is 100 times better. Yeah, maybe. Before match, people were also talking about kicking out Jingan and Gurpreet Singh Sandhu. Now they have been really quiet. Hannibal, those people who are saying this without understanding, knowing things and understanding, in my opinion. Honestly. Um, these guys, if you like it or not, are the heart and soul of this team. Is there any positive from national team from UT Cup? Mahesh, the level of exposure. The problem is, I think the older ones grasped this. Gurpreet said it. They said, hey, listen, to play on such a ground, such a turf, such a stadium, such an environment is something great for them. Right? They were like small little kids. They were really, really happy. The young ones, I don't know. But we know. I at least saw where how good or bad we are. So this isn't justified from us that China hasn't reached the World Cup when they've poured minutes that they've played with big guys like South Australia and Indonesia. Yeah, that comparison is, but yeah, we're not there. Maybe they will concede more, but I guess we'll never know. What we can predict is that he isn't going to improve after hitting 35, assuming no age fraud. Clock is ticking, tick, tick, tick. Pranjal, yeah, but the point is, 5, 7 years ago, that guy was being made Lord, and you know, and the problem is very simple. Rahul uh, has reached a certain level and consistently played at that level, which others, you know. But sir, I like this quality of yours a lot, sir, to handle debates and facing questions like the AIFF encounter. Sir, wish me luck for my studies. Good night, sir. Great going. So lovely. Thanks. Thanks. I try and answer. Please see, I have answers. If my conscience is not, again, other people are saying this. And yeah, we're getting a lot of hate for clicking pictures with Kalyan, and Khalid Musabai also posted about it. Raj, it speaks about those people rather than about me, because they don't know things, right? They think they know, they think they understand. You have no bloody clue, you know? So that's the reality. So if you don't know, um, Musa has my mobile number, could have asked me, said, hey, why did you click that picture? Why did you do it? Right? I could have also not posted it, right? So I don't care what people think or do. I've never cared about it. I do what I think is right. And again, not everything that I do is right. So there will be mistakes I do, and I'm honest enough. You guys don't do that. You guys think you know and understand. Though people are bashing XYZ for this, that, everything, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. But hey, that's reality. Back to Lord, I guess. No, no. Pranjal, the Lord days are over. This is an opposition that we played in the Unity Cup, which we don't play at all. The last time we played that level of football was in 2004. 2002, sorry, when we played Jamaica. Yeah, so, can you imagine we are forced to field MacArthur and Ricky Shabong when we have players like Thapa and Apo? Yes, anyway, that's the reality. That's the reality. MacArthur is some one of the younger ones. MacArthur, sadly, has disappointed me because MacArthur should have scored. And I swear to God, if I see Farag one more time, Pranjal, you might see him against Tajikistan. Again, it's not your liking or my liking. What are your views on Joseph Sani, Dipendo Vishwash, Guru Singh, Vinit Venkateshwar, the watch out for the future? Hitesh, Dipendo Vishwash, how much has he played? People talked about him and then suddenly disappeared. Guru Singh last season, lot talked about. Where was he? Joseph Sani is the standout this season for Delhi. Let's see where he is next season. And the same can be said about Vinit Venkatesh. You are just proving the point, Hitesh, for me, that we talk about players for a certain period of time and then they disappear. Outgone. Where is Sumit Rathi, for example? Was it 4 5 years back? Young player of the ISL was expected to be the next potential left back or maybe centre back. Guys, today, if I get a selfie with Kanji, doesn't mean I'm having a part in agreeing to Kalyan Chaudhuri is doing. Stop it now, sir. Just ignore. I I'm ignoring it because I've not replied on social media. But I think um, here at least I wanted to answer it because I feel that if I can give an answer to that, I think I should, and I try to explain myself. That's what I've done. I think Musa did it in a funny way. He didn't intend to criticize you, Hannibal, but it's perceived to be criticism, right? And it's clickbait. It is clickbait. It is rage bait. It it's yeah, might have been intended, but if you see what people say underneath it, it just shows. Then sorry, then Musa is not smart enough in the way what he said, right? And it shows me again, you can be this, that, everything, right? Um, very difficult. Hi, Ataf. Sir, we will not be able to improve our football because we don't know we are wrong. Sure, that's the problem. I at least try and work in the background and create some solutions and do this and do that. Uh, uh, you know, and so reality. People in UK were like, "Oh, this is not the best Jamaica or the best Nigeria," but who's going to tell them? Even my lovely India is not the main team with them. Yeah, but Sujal, just think. Do you think that we would love to have played Nigeria with the Victor Osimhen in the lineup and forget which defense we would have played or defensive midfield? Do you think that we can take on Leon Bailey? So it's okay. It's okay for us. Farooq instead of Brandon is manager. Hannibal, I don't. As far as I don't know, I got to know later that, for example, Irfan Yarwad was injured, so Farooq Chaudhuri was chosen for Irfan Yarwad, if I'm right. So, Wolf, a World Cup prediction video, please. Ataf, I'll surely do it next week. I've always defended my Lord Rahim Ali. He saved us with goal and we drew that match. Raj, but he's the only one. Again, I said, even those of you who might have watched my live last Wednesday, where, um, Rahim Ali is the only one who physically can stand up, and he did. You know, Asia Corporation Unity Cup is Indian players' quality against strong opponents. 100%. Again, it's not exposed. I mean, to some who didn't know, who didn't expect us, maybe, but to me, it was clear. What is the future of Kalen Vickers? Brighton have been sending him on loan for last 2 seasons, 21 Canadian Football or even championship. I have no idea. To me, these players, yeah, you're rooting for them, it's great, but these kind of players, once you been pushed, it becomes a problem. Sadly, the fact is our homegrown players will never lead us to World Cup until we follow Japan path with this is follow Indonesian method, bingo side quality. It's a sad reality, but we have good guys. See, we will, even if we follow the Japanese path, Brian Williams, the problem is with following that Japanese path is we are not structured like the Japanese, right? I started a while looking at the picture of you, Mr. circulated, couldn't believe it, but then slowly came to my senses. Yeah, but you know, um, it is funny, Simon, what people think, and without knowing, they spread it out. So, last question: how is Ganja as a human being? People expect you to run crazy when you see Ganja with the appeasement. Do whatever you're doing. Pay no heed to full support. Thanks, thanks, thanks. I go pressing something. Uh, yeah. In your opinion, was the best Muslim player in Unity Cup? Aman was Farooq Chaudhuri best between Sandesh and Gurpreet. Why was Farooq playing? I have no idea. But please tell about Kabir Nath. What do I tell you? I've got an old interview. Kabir I interviewed 3 years back. Have a look at it. Rahul Baker is old now, and one day we have to get over him. We have to give chances to others. We have no choice. Yeah, Raj, we will do that. But let's see how long he sticks around, right? We had the same conversation about Sunil, and we now see that we lack Sunil. And even if we give chances to others, they will not be able to do anything. Farooq and Rahul Beke were completely clueless. They don't deserve to be in the lineup. I don't think should put Rahul Beke and Farooq in the same bracket because I felt Rahul Beke actually did quite good. I saw you the other on the live stream. Your face told the story during that match. I don't want to speak about that, but your intact with the coach and president take on their response. Timo, uh, uh, Khalid plays in a certain way. It will not change. It's no point of me discussing tactics with Khalid Jamil. Khalid plays in a way. Khalid, even if you're losing 1-0, he will, even in the 93rd minute, not say, listen, go out and try and score a goal. He doesn't do that, right? So we talk about other things. Again, selection too, but we didn't get to that point, right? But hey, nothing against you, just share my thoughts. Simon, you can share it. Again, I know um, that my conscience is clear, and those people who are questioning me, they don't have a clue what they're talking about. That's their problem, right? There's no idea. I still remember India was Qatar. Ryan was making insane run. I mean, insane. He's good. Forget that. He's at least trying, right? So, last question. What do you say, Khalid? The Khalid said to you, sir, please tell us if possible. We want to hear a coach's side too. We didn't have much time. Again, it was a couple of minutes, quick catch up. Hi, hello. Hey, talk about 2000, this, that, everything. How was it in those days? We had some opportunities. Players couldn't finish it off. Yeah. We didn't say it, but I felt that it's like the attacking players lack the intent of actually finishing it off, and that's the reality. I know that I'm serious about football. I do not want to waste my time on Jamia International Team currently on ISIS chaos. I don't want to waste my time if clubs are not fighting. Ah, Kumar, those I'm not. I don't want to waste my time. This and that, everything. Listen, if your football is passion, is pastime for you, for me, for everyone, you support them in the good times and the bad times, right? And therefore, that's the reality, right? AIFF National Sport Tribunal says fight for one star league is stalled for 1 year. Our player development is not going to become world class. Kumar, this whole caste conversation, nice. You did your dug up on with an AI and blah 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 blah. Five conversations that I had on Saturday will do more than all these things that you do, right? The transition from the old to new guard is one which is going to be utterly messy given we Khalid Dahan again, quality international level requires to play at this stage. Simon, that's the problem. And Khalid doesn't want to make that switch because I realize that it's a mentality thing. And I agree with him. That's his problem. Sir, we're not giving Paramveer, but given 30 Rahul Baker and Baker will be 40 on next Asian Cup. So you're telling me 40 right back is going to defend against guys like the Kubo, Sugarov. Listen, are you sure that Paramveer will be around in the next Asian Cup playing ISL? Right? Do you want Paramveer to play against those guys, against Jamaica and against? And didn't someone just say we will have to find other players, right? I'm curious what do you discuss with the coach and the president? What was the most interesting thing? Timo, we just spoke about a few things. Hi, hello, family, this, that. With Kalyan, some stuff, some ideas I gave to him, or some criticism about certain things. Again, if he's going to take it on, that's on him. And then with Khalid, very short conversation because again, max 2 minutes. Yeah, nothing more, nothing less. Germany, Finland, good game from the boys. Yeah, Sam, but Finland was weak, right? So, but again, if we're gonna go, yeah. Fans want you to behave like a woke, responsible teen in front of Khalid and Kalyan while they wanted you to shout on them. Yeah, but Hannibal, these people are they're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. I've always been part of the solution, and I've said whenever I needed to say whenever um, I would say that. And criticizing people criticize for the sake of criticizing without knowing the facts and knowing understanding. You know, just more Kalan Chauvis say about there. Will it be a full season at ISL? Demo, he can't say anything about the ISL. If you ask me, and given the realities, clubs either will disband in the next few weeks or everyone will wait for the elections to happen. Um, in December and maybe in January the ISL start. I don't know. Nobody knows, right? I can only everyone was telling you, oh, this will happen, that will. As I said last season, as I said in the last 2 3 years, people just speculate without knowing these things. Reality. The problem is clear. Khalid's style is so much defenses. We already lack a good striker or a player who creates chances, and with this deck, we are not going to create. So players like Farooq, yeah. Who played good at this Unity Cup for you? Gurpreet, Sandesh, yeah. Who was disappointing? Harchal and the attack line. Edmund wasn't good. Sanan, when he came on, didn't convince me. Um, yeah. Jeekson looked sluggish in that second game. Yeah. But still, we have experience center back Sanjay Jig and Eagles team has done that. One experience, one young, excited talent. Don't forget, we were Anwali Akash Mishra in the process. Yeah, but if Anwar Ali is not there, then we have a problem. We need Gurpreet Singh the Jingan behind as the core for the upcoming generation. 100%. That's your problem. Ashley Westwood, good choice for national team? I don't think so. Mahesh, from what I heard in the last few days, no. You think AI as a joke can create website with peanuts, but so many professional jobs are gone because you didn't know anything about how powerful AI was. Kumar, I'm not saying that. Oof. You want to be right with things, and there are certain things that AI will not be able to do it. This is a matter of governance, and AI will never be able to give you an answer for that. There are certain things that where you will need a human being. There are nuances. AI will never be able to understand those nuances. Just look at something like Star Trek, where you had Data as an android, where Data always um, wants to have that human emotion. It is knowledge, it is understanding, which AI will, certain things, AI, again, and these kind of things, AI will not be able to give you the right answer, but you don't want to take that as an answer. So please live with that in your own world. Sir, for you, who's your favorite striker now, sir? Indian striker. Was it Raim Ali or um, Irfan Yadwal at the moment? Actually, no. My favorite striker actually still is Sunil Chhetri. I just hope, and I really hope we chalk out a plan for next cycle. Please ever get to work, Simon. I hope so, but again, my problem with that is it's not just the AFF, right? The problem is with the AFF. What was the point of giving 2 minutes time to Nikhil Bala? Ask that to the coach. Dada, why do you think we have so many applicants for the national job, but we give the job to Khalid? Timo, they wanted an Indian coach. I said this earlier that they wanted an Indian coach, and that is why Khalid got it. They were coaches, that's the reality. When will Kalyan resign? He will never resign. If we're waiting for that, it's not going to happen. In Bangladesh isn't going to have high profile. Okay, Timo, sir, who are supporting World Cup? Germany. I'm born and brought up in Germany, so I will always defend old senior players. No, I don't, Raj. That's the problem. At the moment, I have to because, uh, you know, um, because the other ones are not better. I supported Chankte when he was very, very young. Why would have otherwise I would have organized the trial for him in Norway if I wouldn't have supported him? Our players, our quality is going down. That's the problem, Raj, that we need to talk about. Tell me young players who need to play. I've also said, listen, I would like to see McCarthan. I would like to see Ayush. Ayush couldn't do it. McCarthan, sorry, not good enough for this level. Was all over the place. Ricky Shabong actually played better than Ayush. And normally, McCarthan. And McCarthan should always be a better player than Ricky Shabong. Ricky's job is just to destroy. But Ricky was giving it all, right? So the question is the Ricky Shabong type of player for us more important than the more creative player of a McCarthan, of an Ayush? Maybe that's also an answer. Mohamed Sohail would be a great option. It's high time to give him a call up. He's electric on the ball. Next to there should be full of experiments, trying something new. I'm going to play Asia. Arnav, how much time did Sohail get at Punjab? How often was he injured? He's not even getting game time for Punjab. Kipgan has taken his place, and Osoji was playing on his wing. People used to think AI will replace article writing, blog writing, but AI now is capable of writing blogs and others, and it didn't change anything. Yeah. Is there any current Indian ISL player who has the quality to move to a second tier European league or any better league than ISL? Or players not even good for this, some decent Asian leagues? No one, Dex. At the moment, no one. It maybe a Changte if he wants to, maybe an Apuya, but second tier Europe, none of them. Right? Fans made hype about Indian coaches. Imagine Sanjay Sen as Indian national team coach. No, well, that's the part of the problem. All senior players, Chante, Jingan, Gopal Singh Sandhu, Apuya, Thapa, these are the best players. Yes. Yes. That's the reality. Which players from the current pool do you think can take the step up? Valpuya is my pick. Valpuya is also not amongst the younger players, right? That's the thing. Valpuya is already he turned 30, 36. He turned 26 yesterday. So Valpuya is another example. Valpuya is developed also late, not early, right? So so that's why all of these things are realities. Vijayan, God gifted player. Yes, Aman, I've said that. Vijayan was the best that I've seen. Farooq, 180 minutes plus thoughts. I don't understand it. For me, it's not national team level. Sorry. Who are the OCI people Kari talked about and conversations? Arnav, as far as I know, none. But what Ashley said in interview about Khalid was 100% correct. Yeah, RSC was 100% correct, but you don't say that about a fellow coach. And he said it in a tone where I say, a white man is saying it about a Baranga. There's a sense of, for me, there's a level of racism in it. You might not see it that way, but I do see it that way. So the problem is that we always say these players don't have experience, don't give them chance, and then what happened to the player? He lost his form, gone performance. But big teams give Foden in his first season. What are you comparing? Why Phil Foden is playing for Manchester City under Pep Guardiola. Phil Foden is a talent in an English context to the level of talent that England produces. Who could go all the way? So my problem is we don't have those players. But for me, those players need to consistently perform in the ISL. Again, if someone is mentioning Mohamed Sohail, who I also last season said, hey, he could be someone. There is something in the boy. Dave Perez didn't rate him. Right? He rates Kipgen higher than him. Kipgen got more time and he also had injuries. So then the question, again, consistency. The word for me is consistency. If I say something in favor of you and some guys will label me your peer, that's the sad part. Yeah, Raj, but that's the reality, no? I don't react to it. I didn't react to it. And I said today, right? For example, with someone like Musa, I'm disappointed, right? Because, yeah, but the reality is I can look in the mirror. I'm fine. So, yeah. And Apuya and Chankta are not young anymore and I fear they are stagnant. Yeah, Simon, that's the problem. Because in the Indian system, they will stagnate, right? And I think there is no point of talking about Indian players moving abroad. We know that at times still want Akash Mishra trial with Machan. Why didn't it go through? Because there was never a trial. Was there a trial? Again, or was it a social media story? Most of these stuffs are social media stories. It's like PIO OCI is coming. McCarthan was worst against Zimbabwe, right? So that's the sad part. And I rated McCarthan in the past. I was hearing the whole time. Thanks, Vashwar, when you said how you can do better even without a license because the ones who comes don't even get the basics right and basic equation right, combination, etc. Spot on. Thanks, Vashwar. I have had the luck to see from close quarters, um, you know, uh, with Stephen, with Bob Houghton, and also Sukhvinder Singh. Panji will never take it wrongly, but he was never the best coach, but he was a brilliant man manager. I'm Vijayan, the laziest one in training. I'm Vijayan wanted to just play football. And he did that. He knew what he had to do with I'm Vijayan to get the best out of him. That is the quality. Bob Houghton realized XYZ flair won't work. He worked on Merajuddin Wadu and all these players to be at that level. Anwar Ali, the old Anwar Ali, Gauram Singh. So this is what you need to know. Can I get something? And I remember there were certain players where Bob said, I'm not taking them because I don't see them being real. You know? I say it's so uncertain to happen. It's shocking that players have not already started giving trials to foreign clubs. What are they waiting for? Enough. No one wants to give for Indian players trials. No one is waiting for an Indian player to for trials. I understand your view on Westwood calling his criticism of Jimmy as racism, but I see it a bit more as backstepping considering timing. Roshan, it's a combination of both. And that for me is a question of character, right? So that's the problem. It's a sad problem, but a reality, right? If I like it or not. Lack of consistency is a mentality issue. What's the reason behind this? Mentality, quality. And, um, yeah, that's the problem. My problem is we might be bad, but not as bad as we make us look like. There might be problems and solutions for future, but do we even do what's in our hand properly? Then we can dive deep. Bashwar, I will say no. Because we could, yes, we aren't as bad as we are, but we could do better. But yeah, who's going to make the right calls? I don't see. Again, I would like an elder statesman like character to come in as a and but not going to happen, right? So reality is, if you leave Akash, Ryan, Gopal Singh, Sandhu, Sandesh, Puyan, Vachante, if you leave these players, anyone is not international level. So I'm not blaming you in the last comment. Sorry. No, but that's my point, Ryan. That's a point, right? Again, um, that's someone needs to. If football works this way, if I take the spot of ABC in a club team, it means that the coach thinks I am better than whoever is playing in that position. You know, you know. So that's the reality. Even though Chunk is not, no, he is, Ryan. He is for me. He is, but he's not gone to the level that I thought he could with the talent that he had. Carl is a good coach. We have seen it, but it feels like there is a favoritism issue, which what else can justify Farooq playing both games full? I don't know. Again, good coach or bad coach, Khalid Jamil has a certain way of doing things. Khalid Jamil has a certain way of picking things, and we've got all coaches do that, right? Stephen, I remember Suet Pasi used to be called under Stephen. Consistency is the biggest issue with Indian players. Chetri, Gopisang, Jingan, JJ, and Changte, and maybe wanted to have been consistent for more than one season out of more than 500 plus Indian players in recent years. RC game, 100% right. Very, very spot on. Basic things. How do you play Akash coming back from injury at left centre back in back? How do you play a two-man midfield with Farooq being one when he isn't even playing well in his natural position? Ashwar, the problem to me is, yeah, that's the selection of the coach and what formation do I pick? In the worst case, play a 4-4-2 as Khalid has done in the past. I don't know why he went for that 3-4-3 or 5-4-1 or whatever the system was. You talk with Khalid Gilbert's name? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And Vijay is a born talent. Yes, Timu is. How are we going to play? This is not the same team. Let's see, Mahesh. But as far as I know, no changes. The team left London and went to uh, um, Tajikistan to play, and let's see what yeah, um, the team can do. Right. So um, it's a difficult one to say, but and again, if you're expecting something extraordinary from Khalid, that's not going to happen because that to me is then you don't know Khalid Jamil, right? So yeah, reality. Please don't say anything about it. Let them do mistakes. We're okay with that. We're happy with the fans and us with young players. Match the same people will then criticize. So you're one who will next coach when and why you support? I support Germany because I'm born and brought up in Germany, and I don't know who will be the next coach. We need the no nonsense charm back in national team, hot and constant master it. Simon, very, very true. In your short video, you told Indians abroad were not expecting much like fans. India, not surprising for me. Yeah, Roshan, you will understand it. You like me, you're in this part of the world, and that's those are some of the realities that we have, right? And um, it was interesting. It was good to see some people, when I went over with the players post match to that side where the Indian fans were, and yeah. Future of Paramveer, if he's going to stay average and stay here just like the others, or he might get a breakthrough in a better league. What's happened after Jingan retires? Dex, where will he get a chance? I think no one will pick him up. That's my whole point, right? There is no player for whom the world, an Indian footballer for whom the world is waiting, right? At the moment, we aren't a serious sporting nation. Forget football. What the changes that changes things get better. More off-season break in football is also a big factor in lack of consistency of players. As in football, you can't have 4 or 5 month off-season. Same, but Mano said that more holidays than games. Yeah, that's a problem, but yeah, one of many. I also feel injuries do play a part in this lack of consistency. Yeah, but injuries happen. No? We need more free-flowing football. It can bring best from players like Ricky. Enough, we can't play free-flowing football. To name these things don't work. Dada, have you interacted with the players? What was the players' response when you interact with them? Yeah, Timo, I spoke with them, and yeah, more senior players spoke. Younger players just went off into the dressing room, didn't even sign or take photos and all. So the senior players were the ones who were sort of, supportive of everything. And yeah, that's one of those realities which I saw again, and which is there. But yeah, what to say? The less I say, the better I would say in this situation, right? So. On that consistency topic, Valpui and Lungdim have been consistent 4 years in a row, but not called up. Coach might have fails with some picks. It's close to first calls. Yeah, Vashwa. Valpuya to me it makes sense because he could potentially also be your centre back backup in the worst case. Yeah, if we're not equal to BC, so we should be happy with the type of results. Yeah. I also rated Ashley high and wanted him a national team coach, but as an international level coach, you should know what to speak and what not. If say something someday Ashley is bad, Ashley will be at that Khalid's. Yeah. Oh, are you where can I find the link to Ashley was saying about Khalid Vikram? I don't know. As the players with good form, but what will always select Farouk and Manvir. Give me 5 reasons these players play international level. I don't know why Farouk got called up. I've said this. Manvir is a different thing. Manvir gives you a certain level of physicality, but then that's the problem. Yeah. What's your view on Hurifara considering nation hopping? Roshan, I don't agree with him. The Hurifara, Germany legend, recently said it's not good that players are switching nationalities left, right. He said there was a lot of national teams are getting players, so let's wait and see. It was a 4-2-3-1 got us the 1-0 versus Zimbabwe with the wrong players at wrong place. At the right one, we could have done better, but the difference was clear compared to our first match. Mm. Vashwa, the problem is to me, even if you change players, I don't even know what the outcome will be. Right? Could we have done better? Maybe we would have done better. Maybe we would have not. I don't even know. That's the problem, right? Because I'm not sure if Jamaica or Zimbabwe actually pushed themselves against us, right? My feeling was that they played the game and did their thing, and but they were not forced to play their best football, right? So for me, that's the challenge, and yeah, that doesn't change. Yes, sir, I agree with you. We need German coach. We need German like this. Maybe work more forward. Vikram, the question is not nationality. To me, is who's the right, who's wrong. The same old sagas continuing this conversation here. We have serious football conversations. Simon, that's the problem. That's my biggest problem. But again, who's going to talk about it? Who's going to, you know, sort it out, so to say? So the problem is that it's not a movie that Indian coach will lead us to World Cup. It's that you have to get a foreign coach to qualify World Cup. Brian, don't mention qualification. World Cup. We're far away from it. Question, you're more a German football fan or Indian football fan? More, I'm both, right? I've said I don't want India and Germany to play because I support both. So therefore, yeah, Papue was the best Mumbai City FC player this season. Currently, the best right back right now. Yeah, I agree, right? Icon. The 3-month-old podcast is fixed now on channel for Thomas and host. Yeah, large. Most silly thing is that Khalid said Unity Cup is preferred for SAF Cup when will they understand nobody gets what SAF things that matters. I think Cup World Cup where we're not even qualifying. Anav, I don't, and this one I disagree with you. I think Khalid said some very wise, which I think nobody seems to have understood. Where I think Khalid, knowing Khalid for more than 2.5 decades, Khalid, in my opinion, was sort of trying to get to, hey, guys, for us, the so-called the SAF is our World Cup. Maybe he could have worded differently. And my understanding was that again, maybe I might be wrong, but my understanding was that for him, hey, listen, this is what we have to look for, play for, and that is we're not going to play higher. Asia Cup, World Cup, we don't let's not even talk about it. World Cup is out of the question. Asia Cup is what we need to aim for, but we're not there at the moment. Have you heard that in Bengal is in football? Yeah, that's another thing. I've seen Bahrain, Kuwait, very bad, but when it comes to senior side, they're another level. Yeah, Timo, that's a reality. So don't troll us. Our coach will win SAF World Cup. Yeah, right. They don't get full throttle. In fact, the Jamaica game, they didn't even do anything. I said in my video that we trapped ourselves in that game. Jamaica just played normal. Bashwa, Jamaica played good for 15 minutes, and I would be worried if Jamaica played at that pace, that speed, shifting the ball around for 90 minutes. We would have, but we got better. One has to be honest because I had a feeling, might be wrong. I said it also in the video that I thought the players talked among themselves and changed a few things. And I saw that against Zimbabwe. Raul Beke and Sandesh Jingan were actually marshalling their players. And this is another thing why I think Raul Beke is very important for this team at this moment. Because yes, he does mistakes, but he's also telling players where to stand, not to stand. McCarthy was all over the place. Dada, what's your take on Narendra Modi's take on football here in India? Do you think he lacks football knowledge compared to his cricket knowledge? And football is very complex, right? Right, he knows enough about football. He wanted to do the IPL in football, which Ranjan Dasmunchi didn't want. He's a cricket guy, and yeah, let's leave it at that. We should not play FIFA as a club with this team and coach. Mahesh, who's going to come in? You're treating as Asian representative this year at the World Cup. Simon, I think Japan maybe, hopefully, will be a surprise. And I'm looking forward to seeing Uzbekistan at this level. Very interested to see how Uzbeks do, but not much expectations. Right with that, it's 8:30 in Germany, midnight in India. I would like to come to an end. Um, and to me, always like, share, and subscribe. Arun Foot. Um, yeah, I'll say what I think. I'll do what I think is right and what is wrong. And again, not everything I'll do is right, but um, I still fight for Indian football, and that's very important. Zimbabwe exploited us; they looked better under Beckham. Khalid said in the press conference he thought that Zimbabwe was a better team. He actually said that. Rizando is a gem, but Mono fans will never understand. Yeah, understand. That's right. And with that, guys, sorry, let me take quickly last. I'm not going to lie. Players are not giving spend the passion anger that the national team shows the performance nation lacks in the team. Enough. It doesn't lack in all. I saw that Gurpreet was really upset after the loss, and I had to actually pick him up, and mentally sort of right. He was really upset. He wanted to at least finish third. I saw that with Rahul. I saw that with Sandesh. I saw that with Changte. I didn't see it with a lot of other players. So, like, what's the best info for now for the next 10 years? I guess we're going forward towards the worst case scenario. Next, we are in the worst case scenario. We are at the moment in the worst case scenario, and we need to get out of. I say we're getting into a black hole, and we need to get out of the black hole and get ourselves out again. Good night, Mahesh. Oscar left. Yes. Good night, sir. These conversations are needed for darkest side. They always are. How's Jonah Fabish playing? Good. Roshan. He was midfielding. That German origin boy for Zimbabwe was really good. If Karachi gets sacked on day, one with the best coach for India attack and lots of passes. Samson, Lama, it doesn't matter. It's someone with that experience. Right, Vashka was throwed left, right, and center, but he also cleared and controlled a lot. Also, yes, McCann is so overrated, just like most. Sadly, but I had hopes in him. We're not talking about Alvarez and Sana, but he should stay and perform one more year for sure. And even Rinzwala scored 2 seasons before joining us, is still benched. But Rinzwala, national team, David, national team, guys, just look at Rinzwala. Yeah, that doesn't make. Shine Banji joined Mormon fans trolled for seasons for that fight with Dimi. Raj, and Chaim Banji was the hero of East Bengal because he was the local boy and he's left. Why did he leave? Because Mohun Bagan made him offer regarding money. That's the reality of professional football. I think the South Championship has been observed because India's part of the FIFA ASEAN Championship. Why postpone it? Play with U20. It's not the first time they've played with U20. This is supposed to be a revamp period. Timu, SAF doesn't want India to play in under 23. SAF wants India to play with its full team because they have commitments to sponsors. And with that, I'll end it for tonight. Thanks a lot, guys. Once again, please do like, please share, support the channel, and the most honest conversations in football happen here on this channel. So please join in. Thanks a lot and good night. Goodbye.